Bakit mo ipapatawag yung inaakusa mo titistigo para sa iyo? Napaisip lang ako, kulang ba yung ebidensya nila? Insofar as the evidence that they're trying to present before the impeachment court, na kailangan nilang ipapatawag yung inaakusa nila para titistigo para sa kanila. And you don't expect the respondent, even if she will be called as a hostile witness, you don't expect her to testify against of the prosecution who called a hostile witness. So, napapatanong lang ako why why the prosecutor or the prosecution would call on her to be a hostile witness. Kaya napaisip lang ko, kulang ba yung ebidensya nila? Just to give you context, nung inihay na po yung pangalawang impeachment complaint sa House of Representatives, uh, a group of petitioners, including me, Attorney Bob Torion, and the rest, have filed a petition for certiorari sa Supreme Court questioning the second impeachment complaint. So, andyan na po yan sa Supreme Court. And then what happened during the first day was quite unusual, to say the least. Kasi meron po kayong dalawang presiding officer, pero iisa ang gable. Yung gable is not just a decorative item then, ano. The gable on the rostrum is actually a symbol of authority. Kaya pag magro-ruling yung presiding officer po, binabang yung gable to say that the authority has, the judgment uh, or the order has already been issued and therefore it should be respected. And yet we see two people, or specifically two senator judges presiding over the trial. That makes it very unusual, to say the least, and obviously violative of the Constitution. Kasi paulit-ulit nating sinasabi, and I think it has been more than amplified by the manifestation and argument raised by Senator Peter Alan Cayetano, na yung pagiging presiding officer ng isang senator judge na hindi Senate President ay labag po sa Constitution. It should be the Senate President who should preside over an impeachment trial of impeachable officers except the President. Kasi alam natin, klarong-klaro sa Constitution, na pag ang Presidente is on trial, it is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court who presides over the impeachment proceeding. But in all other impeachment trial covering all impeachable officer, it is the Senate President. Kaya kino-question, rightly so, kino-question ni Senator Peter Alan Cayetano na yung ano na yan, yung pagtatalaga kay Senator Escudero ay questionable kasi hindi sang-ayon sa Constitution.
Opo. Attorney, ano ho yung para sa kaalaman lang po ng ating mga kababayan, ano hong partikular pong probisyon ng ating saligang batas o sa ating konstitusyon ang nilabag po sa tingin po ninyo, nilabag po ang, dito sa pagpili nga kay Senator Chis Escudero bilang presiding officer ng Senate Impeachment Court?
And the provision of accountability, if I'm not mistaken, Article 12 of our Constitution, na klarong-klaro doon na pag merong uh, impeachment complaint that is being heard before the Senate, it should be the Senate President who should preside over impeachment complaints covering all impeachable officers below the President. At napatunayan naman din na kasi yung Constitution, na ipandayan, if I may, in the proceedings of the what you call the Constitutional Commission at the time. And klarong-klaro doon sa exchange ni Commissioner Davide and Commissioner Monsod na pag hindi po presidente on trial, sino po ang magpipreside. So in that particular exchange, naiklaro po na the one who is supposed to preside is the Senate President.
Opo. Pero anong masasabi po ninyo doon sa mga argumento naman ng ilang mga senador dahil po yung sinabi po ninyo ay yun po mismo ang pinagdebatihan bago po sila pumili ng presiding officer sa halip nga na itong si Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian ang mamuno sa Senate Impeachment Court.
That's good that you raised that point. Ano? Even the manner by which they changed the rules on impeachment sa Senado, questionable din. Kasi nga, sang-ayon ako sa obserbasyon at klarong-klaro naman doon sa balita, nung June 3 na Senate session, wala po silang quorum. So kung wala kayong quorum, how can you convene a session in the Senate? So doon pa lang, questionable na. Pangalawa, it's a matter of procedure, according to Senator Cayetano, na when there is a motion that is supposed to be put on the table to be debated upon and voted by the members, it should be filed a day before. And there was none that was filed a day before. The motion to change the rules of the impeachment rules. So, yun, pangalawang rason naman na talagang questionable yung pag-iiba ng klarong-klaro sa saligang batas na it's supposed to be the Senate President who will preside over impeachment complaints covering all impeachable officers below the President.
Opo. Meron pang mga naratibo, attorney. Yung mga argumento po na tahimik daw, hindi malinaw, ang nakasaad sa ating batas na hindi naman nakalagay specifically na dapat Senate President lang yung magiging presiding officer.
Meron po tayong tinatawag na pag hindi po malinaw yung batas, babalikan natin yung deliberation kung paano pinanday yung batas. So in the case of the Constitution, sinabi ko nga kanina, balikan natin yung deliberation ng Constitutional Commission, yung itinilaga ni dating Pangulong Cory Aquino para magpanday ng bagong konstitusyon after she assumed office in 1986. And that's precisely the point that was raised by Senator Cayetano, na during the exchange, si Commissioner Davide then would have wanted to make it very clear na pag in all other cases other than the President on trial in impeachment, kailangan yung Senate President ang mumumuno, ang presiding officer in that sense, no? Pero naiklaro na ni Commissioner Monsod na yun po ang ibig sabihin dyan. Ibig sabihin na pag hindi po yung presidente is the one on trial, then it should be the Senate President who is going to preside. Klarong-klaro po sa exchange in the deliberation of the Constitutional Commission na nagpanday ng ating Constitution.
Opo.
So no doubt about the intent of the Constitution in this particular case, in all impeachment complaints covering all impeachable officers below the President, that includes the Vice President, and down below, it would be the Senate President who should preside. Why is that important? That is important kasi yung presiding officer po, siya yung nagmamando ng proceeding ng impeachment. And that is a very important role to play. He sets the order of the proceeding. He rules on matters that are raised by the parties, both by the complainant and the respondent. No? Yung senator judges are there if there is a motion or if there is a point by which a senator judge may raise to make a formal vote. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang po yung presiding officer ang magde-decide on a point of procedure or perhaps a point of substance, say for example, admissibility of evidence, ilalagay sa botohan ng mga senator judges. Otherwise, it's the presiding officer who will rule on matters that are raised in the course of the proceeding. So very important po yung papel na ginagampanan ng presiding officer sa isang impeachment trial.
Opo. Ang sagot naman po ni Senator Judge Tito Soto doon po sa inyo pong sinabi tungkol sa mga framers, yung minutes daw ng Constitutional Commission ay reference source lamang.
Ano po? Hindi ko nakuha.
Reference source. Parang reference lang. Baga, sa tingin ho ba ninyo, mababa yung tingin po niya doon sa mga framers at baga wala po siyang puwersa na maidudulot o epekto doon po sa pinag-uusapan po nila ngayon?
I beg to disagree. Kasi yung pagpanday po ng Constitution na yan, yung ugat ng lahat ng provision ng Constitution nanggagaling po sa deliberation ng Constitutional Commission. So hindi po natin babaliwalain yung mga nangyari po para ipanday, isaayos at yung Constitution that we now have. That's precisely why even in cases that reach the Supreme Court would make reference to. Ibig sabihin, babalikan nila paano pala nangyari yung pagpanday ng isang batas or in this case the Constitution. They would always refer to the minutes of the deliberation before when a law was passed in Congress, or in this case the minutes of deliberation of the Constitutional Commission. So that's a very important pieces of material by which we would be able to draw conclusion kano talaga ang sinasabi ng Constitution.
Opo. Meron pa pong isang argumento na itong impeachment, Senate Impeachment Court ay sui generis o hineres ba o nabubukod tangi dahil siyempre wala daw makukulong, wala namang civilly liable dito sa impeachment court na ito. Kaya maaari po yung mga senator judges ay magsagawa o magbago o mag-amend po ng kanilang mga patakaran sa kanilang kakayahan bilang mga senator judges kung sino po may pinakamaraming boto, ayun po yung masusunod. Ano pong tingin po ninyo diyan?
Pagsabotohan po yan. Let's look at the impeachment proceeding as it is. This is my position on the matter. Make no mistake, any impeachment proceeding that reaches, or any impeachment proceeding that is initiated in the House is always political. It is a political process. Why? Because it comes from a political institution, the House of Representatives. So doon pa lang, klarong-klaro na politika ang proseso na sinusunod ng House. Obviously, they try to justify that it is also a legal and constitutional duty on their part. And that's a clear fact as well. Pero make no mistake, yung initiation po ng complaint, ng impeachment complaint, lalong-lalo na against an elective official, and I like to make this clear, elective official, hindi po kagaya ng dating maestrado ng Supreme Court or appointed official. Elected official ito in the case of BP Sara, it becomes even more political in character yung pag-initiate ng impeachment sa House of Representatives. Now, they try to justify. Ibig sabihin, whatever is the political setup or agenda of the House of Representatives, they will push it. And how they will push it will now be justified by whatever na nakuha nila na ebidensya. By the way, yung nakuha nila na ebidensya, lumabag pa doon sa rules nila sa House. Kasi nga, insofar as the initiation of the complaint in the House, whatever evidence you may have in the House would only be limited to what was brought before them by the complainant of the impeachment complaints. If you recall, originally there were 4 impeachment complaints. Tinanggal nila yung 2 at 2 na lang naiwan. So whatever the House Justice Committee would have discussed is only limited to the 4 square of the impeachment complaint that was brought before them. Nag-conduct pa sila ng mini trial, nagkuha pa sila ng ibang ebidensya. Obviously, that would be unfair to the respondent. And more importantly, because this is a political process, ang tinatamaan dito, hindi lang po, especially in the case of BP Sara, Ang tinatamaan dito, hindi lang po si VP Sara. Ang tinatamaan dito, yung bumoto sa kanya, the 32 million voters who wanted her to stay as Vice President until the end of her term. So yun po ang klaro dyan. Now, bringing the case to the Senate, as you have said, and now it becomes, you know, hindi mo mawawala yung political character ng prosesong ito. But nevertheless, makikita mo sa araw-araw na paglilitis yung tinatawag na legal at constitutional mechanism on trying to address accountability of the one on trial. So, yun po ang nakikita natin dyan. Pero sa likod nito na nakikita natin dito, huwag nating kalimutan kung ano yung pakay. What is the objective of all this? Is to remove the Vice President, not to convict. Actually, the word that they use is convict. But actually what it means is just to remove her from office. The common reference of conviction is may kaakibat na penalty, like you have to serve sentence in prison, so to speak, no? Pero eto wala. The only objective here is to remove her from her elective office, and that will disenfranchise 32 million Filipino voters. So yun po ang klaro dito.
Opo. Attorney, habang nagpapatuloy o habang kini-question po ninyo itong legalidad nga ng pagpili sa presiding officer, ano yung magiging epekto naman po nitong inyong petisyon?
I don't want to get into the merits of it kasi we have filed a supplemental manifestation and motion arising from this very recent event of the first day on trial na iba yung presiding officer. So we leave that to the Supreme Court to address the matter.
Opo, opo. Bago ko lang ipasa kay Partner Admar, basta ang pinakalayunin lang din po ninyo ay pansamantala po munang ipatigil itong ginagawang impeachment proceedings doon po sa inyong petisyon.
Among others po, among others, that is what we're trying to seek remedy from the Supreme Court.
Attorney, mayong buntag si Admar po ito. Noong day 1 po, mismo ang presiding officer na si Senator Chis Escudero ang nagbigay linaw na tungkol doon sa threshold, no? And kahapon, muli siyang tinanong kung yun ba ay opinion lang or magiging ano na, kumbaga parang magiging ruling na ng impeachment trial at kinonfirm nga ito ng presiding officer. So, wala na tayong dapat pag-usapan pa sa threshold at hindi na ito mababago or pwede pa ito mababago sa pag-usad ng impeachment trial, attorney, sa kanila mismo dyan sa impeachment court?
On that score, Admar, I give credit to Senator Chis Escudero sa paglilinaw na ginawa niya. Paglilinaw. Pero sa ating mga abogado, hindi na kailangan no need to clarify further kasi klarong-klaro naman din sa Constitution na yung threshold is always 16 or 2/3 of the members of the Senate. And by precedence, no, sa lahat ng mga impeachment trials in the past, ganun naman din talaga yung threshold. So ang tanong ngayon, kung pinaghihiritan na ibababa mo yung threshold, bakit? May precedence na. In all lahat, from panahon ng dating Pangulong Estrada, ni Chief Justice Corona, lahat. So ibig sabihin, why would you change the rules now? Because they have been very faithful to the provision of the Constitution in the past. So there is only one obvious reason para medyo madali na ang paghahatol ng conviction laban kay VP Sara. I hope they will not tinker with that again. Pinaghihiritan, mahirap na paghihiritan kasi we are now again violating the Constitution insofar as that point of the threshold vote or conviction is concerned, or acquittal for that matter.
Opo, nabanggit mo si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano naman po yung inyo pong magiging opinion ukol nga po doon sa kanyang maikli pero malaman na pahayag na hinungot niya sa Invictus, "In this bloodbath and bludgeoning, I will be blooded but unbowed." Maraming salamat, Attorney.
I fully agree with that. Maintindihan ko yung VP Presidente. Alam naman din natin sa karamihan, we have been following this episode in her life. I'm referring to the impeachment against her. Talagang binubugbog siya. At pag tinatanong siya, maikli lang ang sinasabi niya. Kung pwede nga lang, hindi na siya sasagot eh. So if you would try to look at, kayo na nasa media, from last year until now, ilang beses ba lumalabas yung House Prosecutor o yung House of Representatives para bugbugin yung Vice Presidente sa harap ng publiko, sa harap ng media? I-compare mo yung katiting na mga instances ng Vice Presidente na lumabas sa media, sa publiko, na magkomento sa kanyang kaso. Malayong malayo po. Kaya I fully agree na talagang binubugbog siya. Pero knowing her character, she will be unbowed till the end.
Opo, at matapos nga po ito ay na nagkaroon ng pagnanais ang prosekusyon or paglilinaw kung magiging witness ba or magiging hostile witness ba or maaari bang maipatawag. Nagkaroon siya ng paglilinaw po doon sa impeachment court. Sa tingin niyo po, mauobliga ba ng kung halimbawa sinasabi naman na meron siyang mga legal doon, yung nasa depensa niya, mauobliga ba ng impeachment court na mapatawag ang sinasakdal po, Attorney?
Depende po yan sa impeachment court. If they find the need to give given the need based on the reasoning of the argument of the prosecution asking her to be a hostile witness. Pero iisa lang yung nakikita. Merong pumasok sa isip sa ngayon. Bakit mo ipapatawag yung inaakasa mo titistigo para sa iyo? Napaisip lang ako, kulang ba yung ebidensya nila? Insofar as the evidence that they're trying to present before the impeachment court, na kailangan nilang ipapatawag yung inaakuso nila para titistigo para sa kanila. And you don't expect the respondent, even if she will be called as a hostile witness, you don't expect her
Opo.
to testify against of the prosecution who called a hostile witness. So, napapatanong lang ako why why the prosecutor or the prosecution would call on her to be a hostile witness. Kaya napaisip lang ko, kulang ba yung ebidensya nila?